What's going on, guys? It's me and JT, but you can call me Nick, and that's right, we're back. And we're playing some more Doki Literature Club. So let's go. So he talks about you. Oh, we just read that. She's been so much happier with it ever since you joined the club. It's like an extra light was turned on inside of her. What? No way. Saori's always like that. She's always been full of sunshine. It's not any different now than it's always has been. So funny, NJT. Oh, you're funny, Monica. Have you ever thought that maybe you've already seen her as cheerful? Because that's just how she is when she's around you. I said too much. I'm sorry. What do I do? What do I know anyway? I didn't mean to jump to oops. I'll try to talk to her, so try not to think about it for now. Alright. Monica smiles meaningfully. I know she said to forget about it, but I already know that I won't be able to get her words out of my head. Monica stands up from her desk and walks across the room to where Saori is sitting. I watch her kneel down to Saori and gently look at her, but she's keeping her voice so quiet that I can't hear from here. I sigh and sit myself down. I know Saori told me not to worry about her and to have fun with everyone else, but that's impossible to do when she's behaving like this. Exactly how much do I care about her, that I'm letting this weigh me down so much? Now it feels like I'm the one behaving out of the ordinary, but there's nothing I can do besides wait, for Monica. Why does it feel like I'm being watched? I glance around the room. Suddenly I notice Yuri peering at me from over a book, but she looks away just as quickly with a flustered look on her face. I realize that she won't get anywhere like this. I've never really seen Yuri approach anyone or start a conversation on her own accord, so I have no choice but to approach her myself. But now it's a little easier for me to do that. I stand up from my desk and sit in one next to her own. I didn't mean to bother you or anything. Relax, you didn't even do anything. But I could tell that you wanted to be alone with your thoughts. Alone with my thoughts? How are you even able to tell that I was thinking like that? Well... it's something that I do a lot, so it isn't hard for me to spot based on your posture and expression. Not that I was staring or anything. I didn't do anything creepy like that. In any case, I guess you were right. I'm sorry if I caused you any concern. Don't apologize. Your troubles are only the concern of those who willingly share in that concern. Of course, there are certainly those who find the most comfort in keeping them to themselves. But if you would prefer to share what's on your mind, then I would be glad to listen. It's really not that big of a deal. I was just feeling a bit uneasy about Saori. Saori? Yeah, she seems a little off today, but when I asked her about it, she didn't want to admit it to me. So I can't help but wonder if something happened to her. Oh. That's quite romantic. Sorry. I didn't mean to say something stupid. It's not that, I just didn't want you to misunderstand. Sarah and I have been friends for a long time, that's all. I see. Then perhaps it is unusual for her to be dismissive to you about her feelings. Or maybe I'm just reading into it a little too much. NJT. The world is full of meaning, often hidden beneath plain sight. And there's many untold mysteries behind every person, no matter how well you may know them. Good point. So you think that there might be something behind it after all? I think that Saori is a very complex person. Her mannerisms in the outside don't match what may be going on inside her head. And she may not always know what she wants. I noticed her strange behavior today too, and I also feel some concern for her. But in your case, it looked like she was fully occupying your thoughts, wasn't she? Well, I guess that was the case. Saori, she really means a lot to you, doesn't she? I guess. But you don't need to put it that way. We're just good friends, that's all. Yuri suddenly looks deeply into my eyes. Her expression is gentle and curious, as if she was searching for something. Embarrassed, I avert my gaze. That really... I don't know why, but for some reason I found that creepy. Sometimes, a person's mysteries are untold even to themselves. And you, as someone honest and caring, may uncover feelings you weren't aware you knew. That is, I think that she would be a very fortunate person to have you feel that way about her. Yuri, you're giving me too much credit. I'm a pretty simple guy, so I think I'm pretty good at understanding my own feelings. I'm not nearly as sophisticated as you. Ah, that's not a compliment, is it? It is what it is. Anyway, as long as we're here, why don't we do some reading? Well, as long as you're okay with it. Yeah, I should be taking my mind off this whole thing anyway. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Yeah, let's. Actually, I have a request. Do you mind if I make some tea first? Not at all. Thanks very much. If there's one thing that can make my reading time here any better, it's a nice cup of tea. Not to mention you for yourself as well. Yuri stands up and makes her way to the closet. I follow and watch as she retrieves a small water pitcher from the shelf, the kind with a filter inside. Can you hold this for a second? Sure. Yuri hands me the water pitcher and also fetches an electric kettle. I'm going to plug this into the teacher's desk and then we'll get some water. She walks past me and sets the kettle down on the teacher's desk. I simply watch her movements. To my surprise, the way she moves really contrasts with her speaking mannerisms, especially because of her long legs. Yuri appears elegant and methodical. Okay, may I have the water pitcher? Thanks, I'll be right back. Ah, I might as well walk with you. Yeah, why not? Shall we go then? Yeah. Where are you two off to? We're just... Yuri was going to make some tea, so I suddenly realized how weird it is to explain this to Monica. Oh, whoops. We're just filling the water pitcher. Ah, okay. Sorry, I was just a bit curious. That's kind of one-person job, isn't it? That's... Monica, please mind your own business for once. Or do you want to tell me if there's something wrong with helping involve NJT in club activities? My mouth gapes. Gapes. I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, yeah. And let's go, NJT. Ah. What the hell? Yuri quickly exits the room and I follow. Once in the hallway, she suddenly puts her forehead against the wall. Uh-oh. I spoke without thinking. How could I say something like that? Yuri, something about the way she said that. It made me feel so irritated. What's wrong with me? No, Yuri, I think he did the right thing. I wasn't expecting it, but it's also not right for Monica to judge people like that. NJT, how come even when I do something bad, you're being nice to me? Because nothing that you do is bad as you make it seem in your head. Nobody's perfect. We have emotions, and we can't always hide them away, but you always amplify things in your head. Your mind turns a light rain shower into a hurricane. Ah. No. Wouldn't you hate me for something as terrible as that? Why would I hate you? I can't hate excuse me. Someone for having emotions? What kind of friend would do that? Friend, you say? Yuri lifts her head. NJT, I really like being friends with you. Haha, thanks Yuri. I like being friends with you too. I feel kind of awkward saying something like that, but I'm doing my best to help Yuri feel better. Anyway, yeah. Shall we go? Yeah. Yuri and I walk to the nearest water fountain. Once we fill up the water pitcher, we return to the classroom. NJT, do you like oolong tea? Yeah. Anything is fine. Very well. Yuri sets the temperature on the kettle 200 degrees. Now it's time to get the teapot. You really do this properly, don't you? Of course. I shouldn't do any less when I'm making tea for others, even if I'm not an expert on tea or anything. In that case, you'll only be even more impressed. Perhaps I will. Yuri fetches the teapot and begins measuring the tea levels. To my surprise, she even starts humming a little to herself. You must be in a good mood now. Is that so? I was learning a cho, and you noticed. I was doing a bit of thinking, and I decided that I would try expressing myself a little bit more. Turns out it's not very hard for me to do. When it's you who's around anyway. Ah, that's great, Yuri. Just don't push yourself too much. You're always worrying about me, NJT. It's very endearing. Yuri wasn't kidding. I don't even know if I can keep up with this. I'll watch Yuri pour a cup of tea for each of us. NJT, I have another request. Do you mind if we sit on the floor today? Why's that? It's a little bit easier on my back. I can read with my back against the wall rather than be bending over at my desk. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise. No worries. I just have back pain fairly regularly, so I do my best to manage it. Is that so? I wonder why that is. Most likely because of your posture, right? No, it's because of her tits, they're so big. Always hunched over like that while reading. Yes, I have terrible reading posture, so that's why we should sit on the floor. Fair enough. I'll go ahead and get the book. I retrieve the book from my bag. Oh, I have some chocolate as well. It's a bag of small chocolate candies that I kept hidden from Sayori's candy radar. I take it since it will go well with the tea. Yuri and I sit against the wall, teacups at our sides, and if in sync, we assume the same reading position as last time, even holding one half of the book, except this time, our bodies are even closer to each other. I can't see too well. Yuri slides closer under my shoulders. Our shoulders are touching. How am I supposed to focus on reading like this? Yuri was always kind of cute, but when she's being less apprehensive, it's almost more than I can handle. Your teacup? Yuri hands me my teacup. Holding it with my hand that's not holding the book, I end up in a position that makes it even harder to focus. Because now I need to worry about making sure I don't accidentally touch her chest. Meanwhile, Yuri hasn't noticed a single thing. She wears her intense reading expression, and I only presume the world around her has faded away. I use all of my willpower to focus on reading. After a few minutes, I manage to relax a little. I put the teacup between my legs and fumble with the chocolate wrapper. Sorry. I briefly let go of the book to finish opening the wrapper. You can have as much as you want. That's okay, I won't take any. Are you sure? Well, if I touch it then it might get smudges on the pages. You're right. I didn't even think about that. My bad. No need to apologise. I'll hold the book, okay? Are you sure? Of course. Yuri opens the book with both hands. She holds it so that I don't have any harder time reading from it. But as a result, her left arm is practically resting on top of my leg. Well, in that case, Yuri's already totally focused on reading again. I take a chocolate candy and pop it into my mouth. Then I take another chocolate and I hold it up to Yuri. She doesn't even look away from the book. She simply parts her lips as if the situation was completely natural. But that means I can't stop here. I'm gonna put it in her mouth. I apprehensively take the chocolate in her mouth. Just like that, Yuri closes her lips over it. Eh? Yuri's expression suddenly breaks. Did I just... Yuri looks at me like she needs to confirm what just happened. NJT... Sorry, I guess I shouldn't have done that. Well... You were just helping. That's something that friends do, right? I mean... Not really in this kind of context, but... Yeah. Turn the light on. That's all it was. What's that? Yeah. Oh! Then, you don't need to stop or anything. I see. Situation has gotten really tense. Yuri tries to return to the book, but I can just tell by her expression that she even can't focus now. My heart is pounding. I nervously take another chocolate between my fingers, but this time Yuri's eyes meet mine. How did it even come to this? Yuri doesn't avert her gaze. Excuse me. I notice her chest rising and falling to the rhythm of her beats. I raise my arm. Like before, Yuri parts her lips, but it's different this time. I take the chocolate and place it in her mouth. I feel her hot breath on my fingers. Oh! What? Okay, everyone. Yuri jolts back. It's time to share poems. Wait, what? Oh, that's right, we read poems yesterday. Wait, yeah. NJT, can you help Yuri put away the tea stuff, right? Yeah, of course. Okay, thanks. The spell is abruptly broken. I'll take care of the cups. Yeah. Yuri picks up the teacups from the floor. I pick up the bag of chocolates. In the end, we hastily clean up without so much as a word between us. I get the feeling this is something neither of us will have the courage to bring up. Yuri... NJT, this is wonderful. I can feel the emotion that you poured into it. Is this the result of trying what I suggested yesterday? Yeah, I guess so. You did a good job explaining. I really wanted to try give it more feeling. Yuri visibly swallows. Even her hand appears sweaty. I'm not used to this. Used to what? I don't know. It's fine, take your time. Yuri breathes and collects her thoughts. I know that Yuri likes to think before she speaks, so I'll offer that patience to her. Yeah, just being appreciated like this, I guess. Oh, it probably sounds really stupid, but seeing someone motivated by my writing just makes me really happy. Are you saying that you never shared your writing before? Yuri nods. Really? I don't believe it. I really only write for myself. And besides, people would just laugh at me. Do you really think that? Again, Yuri nods. Huh. Even your close friends? For some reason, Yuri doesn't respond. Yuri? Yuri smiles sadly. NJT, during lunchtime I eat by myself. Did you know that? It's a great time to find a quiet spot and do some reading. In fact, I always have some books with me. You could say I really enjoy reading. Well, that's one way to put it anyway. But books are so full of amazing and inspiring people. People you want to fall in love with. Or people you just know would make a really good friend. Cheerful people who always put a smile on your face. Or deep thinkers and problem solvers who discover the mysteries of life. So when you look at it that way, I'm surrounded by friends every day, you know. And those friends don't laugh at me. They don't tease me for spacing out all the time. They don't make fun of my body type. And they don't hate me for acting like a know-it-all. This is nice. People say that about you? I'm not a know-it-all, NJT. It's the opposite. I don't know anything. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to make people see me as normal. I don't even know how to make myself happy. I have all these feelings, and all I can do with them is read and write. But it wasn't until now that I started sharing it with you that I really understood what was missing all this time. But I haven't really done anything. No, that's wrong. Just being patient and respectful. That's really important to me. I know I'm a different person, NJT. I'll speak too slowly. I second guess myself all the time. I read too deeply into things. But every time, you've always treated me just like anyone else. It's so rare that I feel comfortable with myself when I talk to others. That's why every time I talk to you, I just feel really happy. Hey, this is nice, man. It's a good tone for the game. I see. Well, I treat you how you deserve to be treated, Yuri. And if other people don't see it that way, then screw them. I mean, I joined this club hoping I would make friends. And I would say I've had at least one success, wouldn't you? If you put it that way, yeah. We really are friends now, aren't we? Yuri puts her head in her hands. But this time she's smiling as she does it. Do you want me to show you your poem? Yeah, I do. Let me get it for you. Beach. A marvel millions of years in the making, where the womb of the earth chaotically meets the surface. Under a clean blue sky, on an expanse of bliss, but beautiful grey rolling clouds, an endless enigma. The easiest way to get lost in it is one where everything can be found. One can only build a sand castle where the sand is wet, but where the sand is wet, the tide comes. Will it gently lick at your foundations until you give in? Or will a sudden wave suddenly send you crashing down in the blink of an eye? Either way, the outcome is the same. Yet we still build sand castles. I stand where the foam soap wraps around my ankles, where my toes squish into the sand. The salty air is therapeutic. The breeze is gentle yet powerful. I sink my toes into the ultimate boundary line, tempted by the foamy tendrils. Turn back and I abrupt my piece to the erode at the shore. Drift toward and I return to the earth furthermore. Pretty nice, Yuri. I'm aware that the beach is kind of an inane thing to write about, but I did my best to take a metaphorical approach to it. Or I'm gonna get, I don't know, Sayori's or Natsuki's poem. I'm not gonna read it, I'm just gonna click it, and I'm just gonna see what happens if I don't read it. But I did my best to make a metaphorical approach to it. You say that you say that like you don't even want to write about it. Oh, you haven't heard? After yesterday, Natsuki and I, well, it was amusing that we wrote about something similar in such different ways. So Natsuki wanted us to write about the same topic as each other again. I suppose to better compare the differences in our writing styles or thought processes. Anyway, it was her idea. Knowing her, it's no surprise that she'd want to do something like that. She probably just wants to show off. It's not like I have particular interest in her writing style. Excuse me. I just went with her request. But I suppose it's not so bad to write about something simple on occasion. It can be refreshing, you know. It's good for me to calm my thoughts once in a while. Yeah, I think I agree. Thanks for sharing. Monica. Hi NJT, hello Monica. Have you thought about what you want to submit to perform at the festival? Well, being in this club is one thing, but performing in front of a bunch of people, I'll have to give it some more thought. Okay, no pressure, but whatever you do, I'm sure it'll turn out great. It would also make me happy to see. Haha. Anyway, let's take a look at today's poem. Sure. I let Monica take the poem I'm holding in my hands. This one's good. It feels like you're not only getting more comfortable with your style, but the imagery is better than the last one I read. Just wondering, but have you been finding inspiration in Yuri's writing style? I guess so. You can't deny that she's talented. Yeah, totally. I think her poems are the most romantic. That's the best way to describe it. She's like a totally different person when she picks up a pen. I noticed that too. Or when she's talking about literature, it's like a light turns on inside her. Sadly, it's hard to get much personal conversation out of her. Trust me, I've tried. Who knows what goes on in that head of hers? Hope you don't mean that in a bad way. No, of course not. I just meant that I wish she didn't keep it so much to herself. But still, defending her like that, you must be pretty into her. Oh, I'm pretty into you, actually. You completely misunderstood. Haha, calm down, I'm kidding. Besides, I'm pretty sure she's already got a boyfriend. Wait, really? Yeah, a fictional one anyway. Monica kind of whispers that last part to me. It's just a hunch, but... well, there's not really anything wrong with that. Oh well, I know. I was just saying. Anyway, I'll share my poem with you now, alright? Alright. Okay. The lady who knows everything. An old tale tells of a lady who wanders earth. The lady who knows everything. A beautiful lady who has found every answer, all meaning, all purpose, and all that was ever sought, and here I am, a feather. Lost adrift the sky, the victim of the currents of the wind. After day I search with little hope, knowing legends don't exist. But when all else has failed me, when all others have turned away, the legend is that all remains, the last dim star glimmering in the twilight sky. Until one day the wind ceases to blow, I fall, and I fall and I fall and fall even more, gentle as a feather, a dry quill expressionless. But a hand catches me between the thumb and the foreigner, the hand of a beautiful lady. I look at her eyes to find no end to her gaze. The lady who knows everything, that knows what I am thinking. Before I can speak, she responds in a hollow voice. I found every answer, all of which amount to nothing. There is no meaning, there is no purpose, and we seek only the impossible. I am not your legend does not exist. And with a breath she blows me back afloat, and I pick up a gust of wind. There is a part to this poem that makes sense to me. It makes sense to me because something later on in the story happens, and sort of, anyway. You know, I feel like learning and looking for answers are the sort of things that gives life meaning. Not to get too philosophical or anything, but it was kind of on my mind, so that's what I wrote about. I see. I never really put that much into it. And she's going to give us a tip. In a way, it's almost paradoxical, because if we all had the answers, wouldn't the world start to lose its meaning? You know, there's one thing I noticed. It seems like everyone in the club prefers writing about things that are more sad than happy. Haha, are you surprised? I mean, if everything was okay, we wouldn't really have anything to write about. Humans aren't two-dimensional creatures. Buh! I think you know that better than anyone. You mean one-dimensional? Ah, yeah, that. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. There we go. Are you ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good? It can't really be disheartening to get a lukewarm response to something you put so much into. But if you find other people who enjoy writing, crap, whoops. But if you find other people who enjoy writing, sharing becomes a lot easier. Because instead of just telling you what your writing is good, or okay, or bad, they'll want you to focus more on everything that went into it, and the things you can work on. It's much more encouraging than that, and it will make you want to continue improving. It's almost like having your own little literature club, don't you think? That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Oh, finally we haven't ended on Monica. Alright, we'll go say Yuri and then we'll end the video there. So please leave a like, guys, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next Doki Doki Literature Club video. Bye bye. See you now with Sayori.